What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Gonna do another piece like I did last week on the Derrick Rose, Sidney Crosby tie-ins, going the hockey, basketball, cross curriculum, I guess thing. On a more tragic note, though, is that Madison Square Garden a couple of nights ago. That wasn't the tragic part, but I was thinking about the New York Rangers first round pick in 2007, Alexei Cherepanov, and how he kind of reminded me of the piece Bill Simmons wrote a few weeks ago about Lenny Bias, the Celtics first round pick. The Boston Celtics first round pick out of University of Maryland, who the reigning champs drafted him with the number 2 pick. Red Auerbach was a smooth player like that, and they 2 nights later overdosed of cocaine, and this was a kid that was supposed to carry Bird and McHale through the latter years of their career and help them win some more championships, but it never came together, and it's unfortunate, but. It's even more unfortunate that a young man like Mr. Bias is dead. And I'm not comparing the circumstances of Cherepanov's death and Lenny Bias's death, but I think 5 years after Cherepanov died, I think it's not right, wrong, fair, unfair. It's human nature to ask the hockey questions. Would they have called him Alex or Alexei? What number would he have worn in New York? Stupid things like that. But then you think about the Rangers going down in 2012 in Game 6 to the Devils. Does Cherepanov, if he's as good as advertised, get them past the Devils? I think absolutely he does. And I think going a step further, you look at how gifted he was. Maybe he doesn't make. Maybe he goes back to KHL. But this is a kid that was the best forward of the World Juniors, I believe, at age 17 in a tournament that's dominated by 19-year-olds. That goes to show you the kind of skill this kid had. And he fell in the draft because of the Russian stigma, syndrome, whatever you want to call it. But you just think about how good the Rangers have been the last couple of years, and they've, this year they've been struggling, but they've been one of the best teams in the NHL since the lockout. They've missed the playoffs once. How does Cherepanov, like I said, if he's a 30-goal, 70-point guy, help them? Maybe when he comes up, he clashes with Tortorella too much. Maybe they traded him, whatever. But you just think about having that much skill in that lineup. Your team that's perennially year in year out been a contender. Does he get them over the hump? So to speak, and it's kind of hard to say no. When you add such a great player to that lineup, and like I said, it doesn't make his death any more or less tragic. I mean, when a 19-year-old kid dies, it's sad. It's awful. But you ask the hockey questions now because it's human nature to think about that, and I want to hear what you guys have to say, especially the Rangers fans. One thing I didn't like about his death, among all the obvious things, was Glenn Sather demanded compensation. They got a second-round pick for him. I'm not saying Glenn Sather's bloodthirsty, but it's awful you lose a first-round pick that happens to a 19-year-old kid who happens to be a first-round pick dies. But it's not nothing to you got to put hockey aside for a second. And he tied in with Lenny Bias and what he would have done for the Celtics in the late '80s and early '90s, and you can just kind of see parallels there, and it's just something to think about. Kind of an op-ed piece, but like I said, I want to encourage some critical thinking and maybe go beyond hockey for a second. But anyway, that's all I got in the Lenny Bias, Alexei Cherepanov piece. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the season and beyond. Later, guys.